It is Colin here, and in this video we're going to have a look at a live CPA campaign. So we're going to do an in-depth review of René's campaign, and at the moment we're live in the Facebook group. So if I look to my left, there's a second screen there with the live feed with full of comments. The people have the opportunity in the Facebook group to ask questions if there are any. And today we have a Peerfly campaign from René, and René has been featured on the channel before. Thank you for that. And we're going to have a look at, I assume, the landing page and the ads. I haven't watched the video yet. It's about 13 minutes, and what I will do is I will play the video, cut it up in parts, give the feedback, see what's interesting, and see how René can improve this campaign. So let me just check if there's any comments right now. Everybody's here. Okay, let's go.
Hey Colin, so I'm back for round two. So about a week ago you gave feedback to my first campaign, which was target groceries. I had made some targeting mistakes. It was too broad. I didn't put in the interests. So after you suggested me to make this change, I did, and it changed things for the better. However, it still wasn't profitable. It wasn't even very close to being profitable. So I let it run for those 3 days, but after this I killed it, and I realized that I need to look for another one. And I was looking at Peerfly and Max Bounty. Payouts are also all quite low for New Zealand offers, which is what I'm usually looking for. I found a few with 160 payout, and I reviewed their landers. Most of them were extremely ugly, and so I think this is one of the best looking ones. So that's actually the reason why I chose this. Also because I think kind of new mothers might be an easy targeting option, and targeting wise it might be like beginner friendly, let's say. So the offer is Huggies, which is like the diapers, sweeps, single opt-in, New Zealand, payout 160. They do have the system. Oh, and yeah, this is so what the landing page or the offer page looks like. And so they can choose between these three options. Click continue, sorry, and fill in the details about like their user or their name or whatever. So the problem with this one is that so these are the conditions. Nothing crazy. It's accepts social traffic. No crazy limitations, but there is this limitation that you must have your landing page approved, so you have to submit it through here, which is what I did actually after turning on the ads, which was my mistake. And initially I got rejected, and the problem was that I was using for my landing page's background some image that I found off Google, and they said it's basically you can only use images from this page. This was a problem for me because actually this image in reality is quite small. I tried to scale it up. I know that Photoshop actually does some magic when scaling up. So I tried photoshopping it a bit, and it didn't look great. But I guess that's the only image I could use. I guess the other would be just to leave it blank, or just like a white or some random color, pink, I don't know. So yeah, I already warned you that the landing page background looks a bit.
So yeah, let's just cut it up real quick over here. The one thing which is like well known for Peerfly is that they require all creatives upon approval. So what happens is what you want to do is basically you want to Sadie, in this sense, your affiliate manager, hit her up and just tell her like we always use the same flow. This is what the images looks like. We don't use brand images, or we do. This is what the ad will look like. We use the same angle every single time. We use the same lander every single time. Can you give an approval now and let us run it for like however long we desire? Usually what happens is she will ask you like 1 to 5 times to send it for approval, and after that she'll say, okay, just run it. If you run the same angles, like she has other stuff to do, right? However, if you keep submitting it, they will go over the system and disapprove or whatnot. And what happens is those are like hard-coded rules, meaning that if for whatever reason the offer owner ever gets sued for brand infringement, they can tell like, oh, you're using the brand image, which is not allowed, which is stated in offer rules, so we will not pay out the remaining leads. That's what it's all about. So I don't want to tell you to not submit it. However, take it into consideration, my first approach. So the rules are always hard-coded because by law they have to be. But like your affiliate manager will never say like, don't follow the rules. She will say, follow the rules. But if you would see her face, she would say, follow the rules, winky, winky with her eye, right? Just keep that in mind.
Shit. Alright, so yeah, I submitted it, so I got rejected because of this. Also, there was a problem with my links at the footer, with this privacy policy and terms and conditions. I had made some mistakes there. And so I updated these links. I was actually surprised that they look at these details, but now I'm smarter, they do. So yeah, so that's the offer. So next up, I would show the ads manager. So I have two ad sets. Both are targeting females 27 and up, and one is targeting by this brand name, and the other is new moms, which is something that you can also target. Actually, let's just open this up. So yeah, New Zealand 27 and up, new moms, and 27 I actually didn't completely randomly pick, but there's this page that listed that when basically when they become parents the first time, and New Zealand is at 27, and obviously there are people younger than this who are who are parents, but yeah, I just picked this as a guideline. And so yeah, the targeting here, oh, and the budget was 6. I actually made a small mistake here as well, because payout wasn't €2, but it was 160, so it would actually been 480, but I think that's not a big problem. But yeah, actually as well, it was in US dollars, then this is euros, so it's actually even a bit more higher. But yeah, so the audience for this ad set was 59,000. And I also threw in, so yeah, it's New Zealand 27 to 50. I guess over 50, I'm not sure. I doubt that someone's gonna opt in. I don't think there are any new parents over 50, or at least a lot of new parents. Women only, no languages, and in here I'm targeting basically new parents from 0 months to 5 years, which is what I read that kids use diapers until the age of 5. And because the audience was a bit too small, I also had this other kind of competitive brand here. I guess it's not ideal, but I just wanted to make sure that if it looks like a winning asset, then I could scale it a bit, at least before it dries up. So placements, only Facebook feed, mobile devices, landing page views, optimization, and everything standard here. So the images or the ads themselves, I used my previous generic page, and also I just used the same copy, basically just changed the brand name here.
Let's just.
However, it still wasn't profitable.
What am I doing? I was just going to say, let's dive in to the ads here real quick, because that's the interesting part. So I'm just going to grab my microphone back. I put it a little bit more to the screen because people were complaining there was no sound. It's really loud right now. So for me, it's like pretty intense. That's why I put the microphone a little bit closer to the screen to see if it will help. Yeah, there's a little bit of an echo because the microphone is that close to the screen. I just want to give you a little bit of feedback, because when we go back here, let me just go back a little bit. And what you will see is two things. This CPC is way too high. It will never be profitable with such a low payout with a CPC like this, unless it has like 50% conversion rate, which it will probably never have. So another thing, so we have to look at the ads or the targeting. Like diapers is not something I would generally pick. Okay, look what you're doing here. So what you did is you cut up the age range. So you're telling Facebook, yeah, you're telling them, I want new parents, parents with preschoolers and parents with toddlers. But they also have to be 27 to 50. The age range doesn't really matter here. You already said there might be moms younger than 27, right? Nowadays they start as young as 15. So what you want to do is you want to do the targeting, but you want to leave the age range open. Because if you want a new parent, which is 18, that's fine as well. Now you're reducing the audience size and it's so small already. It's only 60,000 people. If you spend €6 a day, you're already reaching like 1/60th of the audience, which is a very, very small audience. Also, I don't have much knowledge of kids, but I don't think kids from 3 to 5 still wear diapers. Maybe you added that just to increase the audience size. Let's just go back a little bit again and look at the frequency. Yeah, because the audience size is that small, your frequency, this is probably like this February 5th, the day you recorded it, and it started on February 4th, right? So it only has like almost 1 day, full day of spend. 6 is the daily spend, and this is the lifetime spend. And it's already at 1.1, almost at 1.2 on the frequency cap. So this offer, even if you would get it profitable, it's not scalable at all. And therefore, I doubt this will ever be a successful offer. But let's continue to the ad section, because the setup, everything else looks good. You follow the 3-step training very well. So here, page, good. Image, good. Copy, very clear, very good. A little bit too short. So want to win, click here to join our giveaway. Something like that. You want at least 2 sentences and just ram it full with emoticons, doesn't matter. Image. Purple is probably not the best border on this image. I think bright red, because you have the Huggy, or bright yellow would fit better. Win to now. Like if you're going to use a different, oh, that's actually your URL you're using. Okay, well then it's fair. Usually what I do is like huggies.com/win, something like that. But that's like branch infringement, right? So gotta take that in consideration. Okay, let's play and see what Renee else has to say.
Because I'm getting the data and data back. So the other images, they're all quite similar, which might be a problem. So yeah, this is kind of like, I guess, someone's home, but the others are kind of like shelf images just taken in store. So yeah, these are the ones. So 4 images, I used to have 6, but 2 got flagged because of these too much text. I guess this picked up the text on the boxes. So I had to remove those 2 and went with 4. I guess that's hopefully not a big problem. And so yeah, the other ad set is it's basically identical, but it's a bit bigger, 74,000. And yeah, the targeting in here is just Huggies and 27 to 50 and only women. And I also have the first numbers. So for the landing page views, and from that I have 2 conversions. I guess that's not too good. So cost per result, like 35 cents on average. Ongoing impressions under 1,000 still, because it's like about a day ago, or it has been running about a day. One thing that I was confused about is this clicks all and unique link clicks. I don't.
Yeah, so let's just have a look at that, because the clicks all means any click on the text to open the image, to watch your page, basically is a useless metric. What we want to look at is cost per link click and CTR link click through. This is interesting, like landing page views, unique clicks, but this is useless. Basically, these 3, you want to look at these 3. Also, what you see here is 14 of the people who clicked waited for the landing page to load. 19 people clicked, only 16 people waited for it to load. So there was a significant drop off relatively according to these numbers. Pretty interesting.
Completely understand where does this discrepancy come from. It's quite a big difference. So I know that you mentioned that we should look at the clicks all, I think, but I didn't actually know what the difference is, or like maybe you could explain this one. And if we look at the ad level, all right. Some things, let me just switch it around, see if it appears. It's strange. Whoa. If I would know how to edit videos, then I would edit this part out. But it looks like it might be just slow. So wait until this loads here. Alright, yeah. So, it looks like Facebook has already decided where it wants to push the traffic. So it's basically this one and this one. Well, it's actually the same image, it's just different ad sets. It looks like this is the winning image, at least Facebook is pushing the most traffic to it. Although if you look at the cost per result, then this is comparable. The relevance scores are nice for those that have relevance scores. So I'll just scroll down to show you the other stats as well. And again, I think in here as well, the number of clicks all versus unique link clicks and landing page views is quite different. So that was confusing to me again. So yeah, these are the numbers. I guess I should let it run a bit more before making any adjustments. And yeah, I would like to hear your comments as well, basically what to change or like what your suggestions are. So next up, and I warn you, this will look...
All right, so before we go there, I just want to say about this. CPC too high, click-through rate too low. You need to work on your ads. So now you have one variant, which has, I think, a 4% click-through rate, needs to be up, way up, double that. So you need to test, like in this scenario, if you already see that, if you have an ad which gets like a 10-cent CPC, you're good. Like there's a couple of things you can improve, but it's already in a good direction. In this scenario, your CPC is basically 3 times what you want it to be. So if you look at this, it's highly unlikely this will be a profitable campaign. So what you want to do is you just want to make 50 different ads, rush them all in one ad set. The chances of you making 50 ads, which are all not profitable, means your targeting is not correct. So what you do is you just eliminate one variable at a time. First, make 50 ads. You don't get a CPC under 15 or maybe under 10, under 5, whatever you desire, then change the targeting and just eliminate every single step until you have what you want. So Ivan is asking, what's the difference between CPC and CTR, I would say. CPC is cost per click and CTR is click-through rate. They mean exactly what they say they mean. All right, let's go see what Renee comes up next.
Look ugly, but this is the landing page. So as I mentioned, I had the problem with the background image, so I just tried to zoom it in. But yeah, it doesn't look great, but I think as a background, maybe, and because it's kind of behind this element, maybe it's still better than nothing. But for now, that's the only thing I can use. But yeah, the quiz itself, it's... Oh, actually, sorry. So this is the first question I hadn't refreshed it. So the country, like where are you from? New Zealand is default. Favorite type of brands? Huggies. And then the third question was about like how much do you spend in diapers? I don't know if these are realistic options. Maybe I should have researched this as well. But yeah, I guess the outcome is still, for all of them, it's the same. So it just, I don't have a VPN on right now. So this won't lead anywhere. But basically, it just opens this page, so they can choose what kind of product they want and type as default, and then they'll fill out the information. So yeah, I would mostly appreciate to hear your feedback about like the ads and the targeting, and like what should I do in terms of optimization. Yeah, it seems the ad manager is acting up a bit. Is there? Okay, now it's back. So yeah, like looks like these ad sets are actually currently kind of comparable level. But yeah, maybe I should be ready to already kill some lower performing specific ads from these ad sets. It would be great to hear your thoughts on this. So yeah, I think that's it, and I'll let it run for 2 more days, and based on the results from those 2 days and your comments, I'll make some updates and see where it goes from there. All right, thanks.
Alrighty, just had to switch the microphone back to me again. All right, so interesting. To answer your questions, I try to summarize. CPC is too high because your ads need work, which is not a big problem. Your audience size is too small. It might be just the country, it might be the targeting. Therefore, your frequency is quite high. So with a sweepstake, if somebody doesn't opt in the first time, they're probably not going to opt in the second time they see it. Highly unlikely. So the audience size should be better if it's bigger, but with a country like New Zealand, you run into this issue. That's why I said I would never run an offer like this in New Zealand, because it doesn't have a broad appeal. I disagree with you regarding the lander. I think it looks better without an image. It looks worse with the image. At the moment, I don't run any background images because it slows down the loading speed of the page, actually. Only if it has an added value, an aesthetic appeal, then I would add it. But in this scenario, there's no reason to add it. Regarding your spend on diapers, I'm 100% you're wrong. The diapers are quite expensive, I would say. So I would do like less than 100 to 200 and more than 200. That's probably more relevant. Regarding your CTR needs to go up, and therefore you need more relevant images, and that will bring the CPC down. Yep. All right, Renee has a comment. If I test with 50 ads per ad set, should I increase the daily ad set higher than 3x payout because there's more images? You could do that, however, it's not required because Facebook will dedicate like 10 cents each per ad and will then decide which one has the highest CTR. However, as with all testing, if you increase the budget, you get data faster. Yeah, so it might be wise if you use that amount of volume. With the ones I set up runs at a minimum of 20 euros a day with 50 ads, and it always works. All right, thanks Renee. I hope you had a blast. I hope you think this was useful.